With little liquidity and very low trading volumes, HNT has been taking a beating recently and has been underperforming its peers. A lot of traders looking at short-term price action might be concerned, but I would argue none of this price action really matters if you zoom out and consider the progress being made and the bear market we are fighting through. Chain halts, delistings, and HNT withdrawal suspensions are muddying the waters for HNT, but these are all distractions from what is really happening at Nova Labs and with the Helium ecosystem. The L1 transition is at top priority. The Helium Foundation just appointed a new CEO, and Solana breakpoint is just a few days away. We can expect more details regarding the rollout of mobile proof of coverage and a more defined timeline for the much needed L1 transition. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the Crypto Compound channel. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe on the way in. In today's video, we are going to be discussing everything going on in the Helium world right now. Everything from price action that you can see here on the charts. Very poor price action as of recently. We're going to talk about why it's largely irrelevant right now. We'll be talking about the data we have been seeing coming from the Helium blockchain. There are two catalysts in the close future that really might help bolster those numbers. We'll also be talking about the newly appointed CEO of the Helium Foundation, as well as what we can expect from Solana breakpoint in just a few days. And lastly, we will touch on all the progress being made on the L1 migration and a more defined timeline that has been communicated recently from Amir Helium himself. So guys, we are going to take a quick look at the price charts. It is not looking good for Helium, but as I mentioned, it is largely irrelevant if you are considering the long-term implications of this price action. We are in the belly of a very, very bad bear market. There is almost nothing positive going on macroeconomically around the world. So there is not much we can expect here from Helium. We also have seen chain halts recently, which surprisingly didn't really have that much of an effect here on the price. And I think that might have to do with the fact that there's just not a lot of attention here in the cryptocurrency space right now, with everything going on, with prices so deflated from what they were a few months back in the bull market. So this stuff really doesn't matter. That being said, I would really expect us to come back and retest this red line here. Now that we have broken this structure, there is no reason for us not to retest this low in the $3.20, $3.25 range. Now, if you're here and you're paying attention to what is going on in the Helium community, that might be a great place to accumulate some more HNT if you are interested and you are planning on investing here long term. We will get into everything that is being built later in this video, but I did want to take a look here at the price chart. And ultimately, I do expect us to come back and retest this ice line down here. Now, from a relative performance standpoint, Helium has also been underperforming. Not cool! Which is something we really don't like to see. But of course, that is very likely due to all of the chain halts we have been seeing, the suspensions of withdrawals and deposits on different exchanges, and more broadly, just the negative sentiment surrounding Helium ever since the Binance debacle with the mobile token and the HNT deposits. Ever since then, there's been a lot of negative sentiment and a lot of negative news around Helium that is being largely attributed to Helium just collapsing as a project, when in reality, as far as I'm concerned, it seems like everyone has misinterpreted what happened with Binance, and they clearly made a huge mistake with the implementation of those 5G tokens. But that has sort of snowballed into this larger sentiment that Helium as a network is falling apart or something along those lines, which I do not agree with. There is so much being built right now with regards to the 5G proof of coverage. There are more announcements to come in just a few days in Lisbon, and the L1 transition to Solana is critical. Now guys, if we looked at the lifetime demand side revenue for Helium, we can see that it is pretty substantial here at 57.8 million, ahead of both Solana and the Binance Smart Chain. It is behind Avalanche, Filecoin, and Ethereum. However, this chart is the one that Amir shared in a Discord post a few days ago. However, it is a little bit misleading because he was using the log scale. If we take it off the log scale, we can see that Ethereum and Filecoin both have far greater demand than both Avalanche and Helium behind them. But of course, if we look at it like this, they seem close, but they are not. But I did want to look at this chart because it highlights the fact that Helium, when looking at all of the blockchains in the crypto space, has the fourth highest revenue figures in history of any blockchain. That is substantial, and that is huge news. And this is even before there is considerable usage that is going on. Right now, everything is still being built and rolled out, but I did want to come here and highlight these revenue figures because they are pretty substantial. That being said, we can also look back here at the Web3 index. Of course, this data was largely unreliable, as has been proven. So if we just look at these figures here, there hasn't been much growth. Of course, we want to see this chart going up and to the right. It is rather stagnant, or if anything, going down. But of course, as I say here on the channel so often, the network is still in the beginning stages of its development. There is still so much work being done to build this network out in order for it to realize the potential that it does have. But these charts do give us a glimpse into what is really happening and are useful to gauge progress moving forward. Now, with regards to data, there are a few catalysts that are coming up, one of them being HiveMapper. HiveMapper is a dashcam that we covered in a previous video. However, their data is looking to be transferred on the Helium IoT network, and their beta launch is in 1 day. So as of tomorrow, their network beta launch is going to be released. This is just one of the examples of something that could trigger a large uptick in the demand for IoT data on the Helium network. Of course, there are many other users of the network similar to this, but this is just one example, and the beta launch is tomorrow. And of course, once it fully launches, there could be significant data being transferred across the Helium network on a daily basis. Now, apart from that, there is also mobile proof of coverage that is being rolled out as we speak. Now, these mappers, once they are released and they are operating, they will be transferring data between each other and the network on the IoT Helium network. That will certainly play a huge role in those data figures, as there's going to be a tremendous amount of people out there mapping the mobile 5G network. Now, guys, I wanted to highlight a comment here from Amir in this Discord thread. They are talking about the short-term price action of Helium recently, and as we can see here, by Capcom's response again about this guy talking about the short-term price action, we can see that Amir says, just ignore it. We do. We'll see if we're right or wrong in 2030. So that gives you a good idea of how Helium and Nova Labs really looks at the network. They're not considering the price right now. What they're concerned about is building out the network and having everything fall into place afterwards. The development that is going on is top priority. That is all Helium and Nova Labs should be concerned about. And according to this, that is all they're concerned about. That is very good, and it is reassuring to know that they are, of course, as they always are, very focused on building out the network. Now, guys, I also wanted to take a moment to congratulate Abhay Kumar, the former Nova Labs Chief Product Officer, has recently been appointed to the Helium Foundation CEO, I believe starting this Friday. So congrats to him. He's been a huge contributor to Helium, as you can imagine, whether it's in the Discord or on Twitter. And he has really been a thought leader in all of the progress that I have witnessed in the Helium network since I have been following along. Now, of course, there is also Solana breakpoint that is happening November 4th, just 2 days away. And if we scroll down a little bit here on the main page, we can see that one of the first listed speakers here is Amir Halim. Helium is planning on releasing more details and providing more insight into the development of the transition to the L1, the 5G mobile proof of coverage rollout, as well as other progress being made on the Helium network with regards to roaming partners and stuff like that. As we can see here in the Discord, somebody was asking out of interest about the transition, and Amir responds, they have been at it for a while. I believe something will be demoed at Breakpoint later this week, and a fairly firm launch date revealed. It's definitely not Q1/Q2. So that is really good news. A more definitive timeline would be great. Of course, I wouldn't hold them to a specific date. There is so many moving parts here, but something more specific than just Q1 or Q2 will be welcomed by the community, but I imagine that this transition is at top priority for everyone working on this transition right now. And guys, lastly, I did want to come over here to the GitHub. I have seen a lot of people making comments regarding what kind of progress is being made. Are they working on it? Are they not doing anything? But if we look over here in the GitHub, we can see this is the program library for Helium's Solana integration. As we can see, there is lots of work being done over the recent days and weeks. Of course, down here is an actual breakdown of what is going on. Now, of course, viewers of the channel will know that this is far beyond my technical level of understanding, but as we can see, there are a lot of smart people that have thought this through and are building out this migration as we speak. Of course, they will continue to update these sections with all of the relevant information that they need to get the Helium over to Solana's L1. This is really, really exciting news. I will continue to give updates as needed here with more technical stuff that comes up, anything that sounds super interesting or might play a role or impact us as miners or community members. But I did want to highlight this just to show that there is real work being done with regards to this migration. So guys, let me know your thoughts on everything we covered. I know it is difficult to look past this price action, but that is just the nature of these brutal bear markets. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching until the end. Please hit that like and subscribe if you have not already. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. But just like that, this video is over and I will see you next time.